It's myself, Professor Khemchand Surana. So today we will discuss about the anti-amoebic agents. We will start with this the protozoal infection. So initially we'll see the what is protozoal infection is there. So protozoal diseases are less easily treated than bacterial infection. So the point is given here, the protozoal diseases are less easily treated than bacterial infection. Means what? If we compare these protozoal diseases and bacterial infections, so these protozoal diseases were not easily treatable. So because there are 2 points given over here, so unicellular protozoal cells have metabolic processes closer to human cells than bacteria. So whatever the protozoal cells are there, they are having a metabolic processes which are similar to what your human cells than that of bacterial cells. Means these whatever the protozoal cells having different metabolic processes than bacterial cells. And the second point is given over here, the many of antiprotozoal drugs causes serious toxic effects, and most of them are not safe in pregnancy. So why it is again not easily treatable? Because the whatever the antiprotozoal drugs has been given, these were causes the serious toxic effects, and also not favorable in pregnancy also there. So the different protozoal diseases are there, such as the malaria, amoebiasis, leishmaniasis, trypanosomiasis, trichomoniasis, and giardiasis. So these are all protozoal diseases has been given in your syllabus. So today we will discuss about the amoebiasis and anti-amoebic drugs. So before that, the what is amoebiasis is there. So amoebiasis is caused by int amoeba histolytica. So the what is the causative agent for this amoebiasis is int amoeba histolytica, which is a protozoa parasite. Approximately 48 million individuals suffers from amoebiasis throughout the world. So this is what the number the throughout world, these 48 million individuals suffers from this amoebiasis. At least 40,000 deaths are attributable to amoebiasis, ranked third among the parasitic cause of death and behind only malaria and schistosomiasis. So after malaria and schistosomiasis, it is what on at third rank, which will causes the parasitic, which will causes the death because of this parasite. So we'll continue with this. Lungs, brain, and spleen without obvious liver involvement are some examples of this category. Means these are what the different organs where this infection where this infection where causes basically. So the liver is most important in that. So lungs, brain, spleen, and liver is there. So the drugs which are used into the treatment of amoebiasis are called as anti-amoebic agents. The potential drugs should be active within the bowel lumen, in the bowel valve, and particularly in the liver. So we have to see into the next slide. There is what the life cycle of amoebiasis. So in that this life cycle of amoebiasis, the active form persists into the bowel lumen, bowel valve, and liver. So the whatever the drugs or treatment we are giving for this amoebiasis, the drug should be active within this bowel lumen, bowel valve, and particularly in the liver basically. So worldwide nearly 480 million people are infected with this int amoeba histolytica, of whom 10% develop clinical diseases. So the infection is transmitted exclusively by the fecal and oral route. So the transmitted by these basic sources, which is what fecal as well as oral route. Human beings are the only host. So who will carry these active form of amoebiasis is the human is what the host which will carry these active form of amoebiasis and transmitted through basically fecal as well as oral route. So next is what we'll move to the life cycle of int amoeba histolytica, or we can call the life cycle of amoebiasis. So this should be asked in examination for 3 marks or 5 marks will be there. So the life cycle of amoebiasis, the causative agent is int amoeba histolytica, which will exist in the two forms basically. So the first form is cyst form and second is tropozoids form. So the whatever the cyst form will be there, that can survive outside the body, means whatever the cyst form will form into the outside the body, means whatever the eliminated part or the eliminated material from the person which already infected with amoebiasis, that feces will contain this cyst form, and which is what the active form of amoebiasis, or you can call the causative form of amoebiasis. And second is what tropozoids form, that are liable and don't persist the outside, means this tropozoid form will only active inside the your body basically, which is not active outside the body. So tropozoid form is active inside the body and cyst form is active outside the body. So the life cycle of this int amoeba histolytica or the amoebiasis consists of the following steps. So there are what the 5 steps of this life cycle of int amoeba histolytica or amoebiasis. The first is what the ingestion of cyst basically. So cysts are ingested through feces, contaminated food or water. As I have already told, the cyst is what the active form of your amoebiasis or the causative active form of your int amoeba histolytica. So the cysts were ingested through feces. So if the person infected with this amoebiasis and his eliminated part contain this uh, eliminated part contain this cyst into the feces or into the contaminated food or into the water. After ingestion, there is what the formation of tropozoid is there. So cysts were passed into the lumen of intestine where the tropozoids are liberated. So once these cysts were ingested through the feces or contaminated food or water, they will passes to the stomach. From the stomach they will goes to the lumen, and where into the lumen the tropozoids were formed and liberated. After the formation of these tropozoids, there is penetration and multiplication of tropozoids will be there. So the tropozoids are penetrate into the intestinal wall. So into the lumen the tropozoids were liberated, and after liberation of these tropozoids they will penetrate into the intestinal wall and multiply within the colon wall. Into the colon wall they will multiply. They either invade and ulcerate the mucosa of large intestine or simply feed on the intestinal bacteria. So these tropozoids will penetrate into the intestinal wall and multiply within the colon valve. After multiplication into the colon valve, so they will causes the ulcerate or ulceration to the mucosa of large intestine, or simply they will feed the intestinal bacteria. So after this penetration and multiplication, so because of multiplication and penetration they can cause ulceration to mucosa of your large intestine. After that the fourth is what systemic invasion. So if they will cause this ulceration, it means what the it will leads to systemic invasion. So large number of tropozoids within the colon wall can also leads to systematic invasion. So multiplication will be there. So because of multiple tropozoids they will cause systemic invasion, and because of systemic invasion they will causes the liver abscess. As we have discussed, the liver is what the major infected organ in this amoebiasis. So after this multiplication of tropozoid, they will cause liver abscess. So cyst form discarded. So tropozoid within the intestine are slowly carried towards the rectum. So we have seen at step second they were form the tropozoids. Similarly, these tropozoids were penetrated and simultaneously they will passes to the rectum. So they will slowly carried out towards the rectum, means passes to rectum, where the rectum to the cyst form and are excreted into the feces. So these are what the whatever the tropozoids, again they will converted into what cyst, and this cyst form where passes to rectum through feces, they were eliminated out of body, and out of body the cyst is what active form. So same life cycle of Entamoeba histolytica we'll see into this pictorial diagram. Here the life cycle of Entamoeba histolytica is given, and also the site of action of amoebicidal or anti-amoebic drugs is also given. So you can see into this pictorial diagram the different number is given 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So these are what the different steps of life cycle of amoebiasis or Entamoeba histolytica. So you can see here the person face is given and in yellow color. So there is what this is yellow color cyst is given. So the ingestion of cyst, that cyst will passes through the stomach, through stomach it will goes to the ileum. So arrow is given over here, yellow color cyst will passes to the ileum. So this into what intestine lumen. So this cyst where form the tropozoids, you can see. So second point is what formation of tropozoids. After this blue color, you can see the blue color tropozoids were formed. So these tropozoids were penetrate into the intestinal wall. Third point is given over here, penetration of intestinal wall. After penetration, the multiplication of tropozoids within the colon, the colon is given over here. So into the colon these tropozoids were multiply, and after multiplication either they will cause the systematic invasion or ulceration to the intestinal wall or large intestine mucosa. So systematic invasion into what liver is given over here, and simultaneously the whatever the tropozoids were formed at step 2, they were again this whatever tropozoids were formed these cyst, and these cyst were passes through the rectum, you can see. So rectum is here, you can see where the it will eliminated with the feces, means the point 6 cyst discarded with feces, expel tropozoids which is what non-infective form, and expel cyst which is what infective form. So after elimination into the feces, so both tropozoid as well as cyst is there. As we have already seen into the initial slides, the cyst is what the effective form of your amoebiasis, means that is what causative factor of amoebiasis, and the whatever tropozoid which is what non-infective form, means outside the body cyst is active and inside the body tropozoid is active. So expel cyst which is what infective, and expel tropozoid which is non-infective. So this is what life cycle of amoebiasis or Entamoeba histolytica. So again different locations or site of action of amoebicidal drugs or anti-amoebic drug is given here into the black color square bracket. So you can see at step second the lumen is there. So within the lumen the drugs which will act into the lumen called as luminal amoebicides, or the drugs which are acting lumen. So the examples of drugs are paramomycin and idoquinol. These are what acting what luminal or lumin. Second is what the at step 5 systematic invasion, means the whatever the tropozoids they are causing what systematic invasion in liver. So the drugs which will act at the step of systematic invasion called as systemic amoebicides. So the drugs which are used in toward these systemic amebicides, for example chloroquine is there, dehydroemetic is there, and emetic is there. And the third one is what, mixed amebicides, means the drugs these are act on both luminal as well as systematic activity. These are called as mixed amebicides. Examples of drugs are metronidazole and tinidazole is there. So these are what the different sites of action or locations of antiamoebic drugs are given over here. So in next session we will discuss about the classification of antiamoebic drugs and their details. So till that, happy learning and thank you.